Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our RimWorld Skyrim Let's Play. So, there's been a little bit of time between the end of last episode and the beginning of this one. Jarl Black and Naziadal have both returned safely. And, at the end of last episode, when they were traveling, I was talking about them potentially camping out if anything happened. And that's because I have the camping mod installed, however, it didn't appear to be working. Because I actually tried to set up camp at some point off camera after that episode and realized I didn't even have the option to do it. So I'm going to play with the mod order a little bit and then we'll have to test it next time we go out on a caravan and see if it's working. But in theory we should be able to set up anywhere and just, hunt a little bit and then leave when we're done, rather than having to found a new settlement, which we're not able to do yet at this point. You may also notice that we have a couple of new characters. I'm going to rename them next episode. If you've already submitted a name, don't worry. All the comments have the tags on them. If people didn't put them, I tried to add them where I found them. But for the most part, I think every name submission has the tag on it. So I should be able to find them. If you want to submit a name on this video, go ahead and do that. Just make sure with the comment you put in the tag hashtag Skyrim name with no spaces. That way when I go through my community tab to look for names, I can just type in that tag and find them all. But yes, we've got Bry, who's an Imperial. I'm just saying that based on his appearance. He is not much of a fighter, although with time he could turn into a pretty good melee combatant. What I was most interested in with him is his ability to mine and do art. So that's most of what we'll have him be doing. But we could turn him into an animal handler as well. He could help out with growing. And again, he will be able to defend himself if we're training him up a little bit. And then we have Jade. She is a decent archer and could become a better one, again with some more training. Same deal with animals. Everybody seems to have passion for animals that we recruit. That's pretty much true across all of our playthroughs, which is kind of interesting. Most important for her is construction and growing, and then art as well. So she will have several drops for us. And she's physically adept, so she moves a little bit faster around. And I think that'll really help her as an archer, because if she can regularly outpace her enemies, she can kind of skirmish effectively with them without being injured. We've also replaced our little, floor sleeping spots with these sleeping bedrolls for now. We don't have the ability to make medieval cots yet. We have the technology, just not the resources. Eventually I'd like to transition to those, but for now these are a significant upgrade over what we had before. So we'll take them. And as you may have seen at the beginning of the episode, we've finished the construction on the walls of our first tower. I've also put in wooden doors. We're just flooring it, and then we'll probably transition some of the beds into here, just so not everybody has to share one barracks. I've also changed up our crop arrangement a little bit. You can see that we've had some harvest. We also had an alpha beaver infestation thing happening. I was able to I killed them all. I was able to butcher most of them before they went bad and turn them into food, but what I've basically been doing is having them eat the raw berries and turning the potatoes and the meat into pemmican that we can store for later or for travel. So that's sort of the goal. It looks like a boar is eating some of the raw meat. I'd prefer they didn't do that, but I guess that can't be helped. What else? We're swimming in chickens, or at least baby chicks. There are a ton of them, and we have, as you can see, a lot of eggs kicking around as well. So there's only going to be more. And then we have visitors. That's where these two came from. We were able to recruit Brian Jade from them, but Nelson and Stin and the Nose are still hanging around. Oh, and Jet. I didn't think any of them were worth taking. Although Nelson is an ice mage, you can tell by the little snowflake thing by his head there. Actually, did I have you set to... Yeah, so I guess they just never got around to doing it, or they haven't gotten there quite yet. But he's a pretty good character too. So if we can get more of them, I'd be happy to, but I mean, even just 2 more hands on deck is nice to have. And again, we'll name them in the next episode. So for now, let's get the clock rolling. What are we currently researching? We're doing medieval crafting. We've already done medieval tailoring, which is something I want to start working on, because I'd like to get everybody in proper medieval clothes, especially like the correct, or not the correct, like padded armor and stuff. At the very least, I don't think we can do real armor yet, but even just, you know, like a gambeson is better than a tunic. Let's see. Oh, you're set to hunt as well. I don't really care about that. Yeah, there's a lot of people in tattered apparel, and we're gonna need to make some winter cloaks, I think, for everybody eventually. So that's the blacksmith's forge. I had them start working on that. It needs marble, which is what we were making this out of. So somebody should be cutting stones. Nobody is, though. But do we have a little bit? That's sandstone. So yeah, somebody needs to be cutting these. I don't know why nobody's doing that. You should be... Oh, you're hunting rabbits? Honestly, I don't know that you need to do that. But sure. Go ahead, I guess. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Bell still hasn't joined us, although his peg leg did get installed. So his movement is going to be down, I think, to 80%. His other leg should be at 100, and this one's at 60, so, you know, just average him. He should be somewhere in the middle. Which isn't too bad, considering he did lose an entire leg. But he is a pretty good character, and so I would like to definitely continue to try to recruit him. I'm surprised that it's taken this long, because honestly... Oh good, apparently we're already starting on the winter cloaks. Maybe that's why no blocks are being cut. But yeah, he's a pretty good character, so I'd like to still bring him on, if possible. We could turn him into a pretty solid medic. He could help out with growing and mining, and he could basically take over all animal duties, and we could just have everybody else do other stuff. I don't know if Hawk has managed to train the lynx yet. I was hoping that she would, because I wanted to make it her animal familiar, but I don't know what happened with that. Oh, it's still on the map. Yeah, it's still around. Just haven't had much luck with it, I guess. Maybe they're difficult to tame. Where would it say? I like how it says the lynx rejected the offer. It's like, no thanks, I'm good. I don't know if it will say where. Or where it will say how difficult they are to tame. Because certain animals have minimum skill requirements in order to tame them. But I assume if she's able to make the offer that we're at least at the minimum. Please don't walk off the map. But yeah, the hope is that she can tame it, or somebody can tame it, and then if she uses her animal friend ability on it, it will become her, like, bonded animal familiar, and it'll follow her everywhere, and it'll have special functionality beyond just a regular animal that would be following her around. I don't know that there's anything that, like, we directly control with it, but I think it gains, like, some additional strength or ability or something beyond what it would normally have. Oh good, somebody's finally cutting stone blocks. I think part of why they're not doing much of it is because this is getting a bit overfilled. Let's expand it downward a little bit. That should be fine. We don't need to add more pillars for that because it's not more than 6 away. And so I think with some additional space, they'll start cutting more blocks. And then hopefully those 40... Don't insult each other, that's not nice. Oh good, we have a winter cloak. Oh, you know what else I need to do? I don't know why. I was thinking of something else. I meant to roof that off. That's why I was talking about distances from pillars and whatnot. But yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, there we go. Forbid that for now. We'll put it on when things start to get chilly. But for now, I believe it is, yeah, pretty warm out. It's sort of the end of summer, so we're moving into, like, fall. That's when we'll probably start to need this stuff. I can't seem to get rid of these rotten animal corpses and stuff. Weird, this was not here. I swear this was not here last time. So we don't allow rotten. These are rotten, or rotting. So they should get removed. I guess we'll see. But I don't like them being around. I mean, in reality, I'd be worried about them contaminating stuff, but I don't know if that's an issue in this game. Still, I don't like it. They're considered very ugly, and so people won't be happy when they have to walk past them. What are you up to now? Oh, you're going to go build that roof. Nice. That is awfully nice of you. So yeah, all the hides that were taken from those beavers are being turned into winter cloaks. What is this one being made out of? Oh, cloth? Okay, so that one's made out of beaver skin. These are going to be cloth. So they're going to look a little bit different, but that's fine. We'll mix and match. Hay grass is coming along nicely. We'll have a bunch of hay to make those beds out of, or the cots, I guess. That's what they're actually called. So yeah, I basically cut the smoke leaf and the heel root in half, turned the bottom half into hay grass, and then kept everything else the same. Because I figured the animals can eat this. This is going to get turned into all sorts of clothes and cloaks and whatnot, so we want to keep those around and have, you know, decent quantities of them. And then, of course, our food supply needs to stay pretty consistent. The potatoes are growing really fast. I'm actually pretty surprised. Some people have suggested maybe transitioning to corn, and I've considered that. I don't feel like that's really lore friendly. Corn is not something that like you're ever going to see in the Elder Scrolls, because the Elder Scrolls is sort of European medieval fantasy, and corn is like a very what's the best way to explain it? Like American. Not that like Americans eat corn and Europeans don't. I'm just saying like corn as like a plant originated in the Americas, and so prior to, you know, discovery of the Americas by the Europeans, they wouldn't have had access to corn, and that's usually reflected in medieval fantasy such as the Elder Scrolls, because you'll see potatoes, you know, in Skyrim everywhere, but you'll never see an ear of corn in Skyrim or Oblivion or anything, and that's for a reason. So I don't know that we should use corn for that reason, but if you guys think that's, you know, a little bit too much in terms of, you know, worrying about lore and all that, then, you know, we can just go ahead and do it. But I don't mind just sticking with potatoes. They're a decent crop. It's just, it sucks that we have to harvest them so often. Early on, that's a great thing to have, because obviously you need the food right away. But later in the game, you want to be harvesting less, and you want those harvests to count for more. And that's where corn comes in, because corn, while being really slow, gives you really high yields, and so you harvest less, but each one of those harvests is a lot more food. And then corn keeps longer as well, which is nice. Potatoes keep for a pretty good amount of time. They last for over a quadrum, even unrefrigerated. It's just that I think corn lasts for like 2 or 3 times that, and then we would have to harvest less often, which would be nice as well. We also got this notification about arcane bandits. I don't think we're up to the task yet, because if that last little journey we took is any indication, we do not have the numbers to fight. We also don't really have enough food for any sort of journey. Oh, great. He wasn't even was he at low risk? I don't remember seeing it. Awful barrack. Well, whatever. Nothing I can do about it right now. He's just gonna eat a bunch of food, which is fine. We're just not cooking fast enough. I think he's finally cooking again. I think he took a break or something. I didn't see him down here for a while. Anyways, I wanted to look at this. So, again, we have arcane bandits. The politicians' estates are the ones sending us this quest. Apparently, their leader's name is Leading Nobleman. He's that generic. And if we were successful, we would get 3 torn scripts, one for lightning, one for summoning, and one for nature, so various magical scripts. Let's see whereabouts this is. But again, I don't think we're anywhere near ready for this. We would need quite a lot of pemmican to feed ourselves for the journey. And then we would need several people well armed and armored and able to leave our colony to go fight this battle. It's actually very close. It is in the mountains, though. So it's about 2 days. Apparently we would paddle up the river, and then, well, technically it'd be down the river, because I'm pretty sure... I mean, obviously, the geography of these maps is, not very detailed, but I would assume that it flows out to this larger body of water, so we would be going downstream, so paddling down the river, and then jumping off and walking the rest of the way. And that is, or it should be the fastest route there. We can try to, like, manually... Yeah, 3 days, and that's pretty roundabout. Why wouldn't you just go straight? Is that impassable or something? Let's see, if I do... Whoops. If I do this... Nope. God damn it. Let's see, if I do it like this... It's 3.9, so it's 4 days. For the direct route. So yeah, it would be faster to do it that way, but still, I don't think we're ready. We'll keep that in mind though, because those quests I don't think go away. At least I haven't seen them go away in any of my other playthroughs. Even the initial ones that they give us, we've ignored for like over a year and they're still there. So when we feel like we're able to take that on without much risk to ourselves, we'll go ahead and try it. But I'm trying to get a bunch of pemmican. I think that's why our food production is so slow. He's making the pemmican right now. And I'm storing it. I'm not letting them eat it. Because I want to save that for travels. And they should be eating the berries. But I wouldn't mind him making more of these as well. Why are you eating stew? You can eat grass. You bastard. Oh, most of the alpacas have names now. They've been nuzzling people. So let's see. What do we got? It's all the chickens and whatnot. There's the alpacas. We have Tuffy, Taffy, and Octave. I wish they were all like, I don't know, like names like this. So like Tuffy, Taffy, and Toffee or something. I guess I could probably change it with like a save editor, but I don't care that much. Alright, so Trobo's nearly done with another winter cloak. Let's compare these when they're done. I want to see how much better the beaver skin is versus the cloth, because I know cloth doesn't insulate very well. Really, man? Get the hell up and finish that. Literally 2 work left and he decides to go take a nap. Oh, you bastard. You know what? Fine. I'm going to make you haul it then. I figured he would at least finish what he was doing before he went to bed. Okay, now you can sleep. I'm going to forbid this. And what are we looking at? So, minus 40 for cold, minus 6 for heat. So it actually makes us more susceptible to heat. But that's not really a problem here. We did get that heat wave, but otherwise it's never more than about 26 degrees Celsius. But this will take our cold resistance down by 40 degrees, which, let's see, I think Umbra has the worst cold resistance right now. So that would take her down to like minus 33 or something. Yeah. She has the worst one, so we would give her the best cloak probably, which would be the beaver skin one, I assume. No. Very interesting. So minus 33.6. The cloth one is actually better, even at a lower quality. This one's normal, this one's good, which is interesting because I've always, you know, on the wiki and stuff, cloth is supposed to be one of the worst insulators in terms of, you know, temperature clothing in the in terms of temperature for clothing in the game. That and Devil Strand are not particularly good at insulating, but apparently it's still better than beaver skin, which is very, very interesting. I would think that beaver skin would insulate pretty well, and it would actually have, like, you know, like water repellent properties too, especially if, well, it would depend on, you know, if you treated it and what you did to it and stuff. But the natural oils in the beaver skin and like their fur would repel water for as long as they lasted. But whatever. We'll just have to keep that in mind, and we'll give Umbra the cloth one, and somebody else can wear the beaver skin one. But we're gonna have a lot of cloth ones, so it's potential. There is. Why can't I talk today? Potentially, there could be better ones, is what I was trying to get out of my mouth there. So our hay grass is almost ready for harvest. As soon as it is, we're gonna start making the cots. We'll get Jade up off the floor. Did your friends leave? I haven't seen them. I think they did. Yeah. I don't remember getting a notification about that, but apparently they did. You guys could have at least slept indoors. Like, you didn't have to flop down in the middle of the food storage area. Let's see. We need to get eating these berries, because otherwise they're going to go to waste. Not that, like, you know, we have enough food. We have plenty of food, even if all of it goes to waste. Because by the time it does, we're probably going to be harvesting these potatoes again. So it's not that big a deal. I'm actually going to deconstruct all of these, because we don't have any guests right now. And if we do get guests, I will go ahead and, you know, just slap some more down. Oh, good. They got the floors done. I didn't notice. Nice. So the floors are done in here. I don't know how I want to lay out lighting. I'm curious. Can we have fishing zones, so we don't have access to transparent roofing. That's probably going to require research if we even have the ability to do that anymore. We may have lost it with the removal of a lot of the advanced technology and stuff, but some of it's still in here. Like, we can still technically do geothermal power. It's just going to require other things. Actually, maybe not, because there's requirements that it's no longer synced to, so I don't know if we can do like the high-tech research bench and all that. It might still be in here. I don't know. But obviously we're not going to do any of that stuff. We're trying to keep this lore friendly. It's just that, wait, what the hell is that? Smoke pop tool belt. Okay, so we can make somebody that runs around and like throws smoke bombs. Anyways, I don't know if we'll be able to do that. We may want to look at Devil Strand research as well, because since we're not doing any hydroponics, that is a very viable way to get our fabric materials. When you're doing strictly hydroponics, like in our other two playthroughs, Devil Strand can't be grown in a hydroponics basin, so you're kind of forced to use cotton. But in this case, we're stuck not using hydroponics, so we have the option. And I don't recall which one grows faster. We'll have to wait and see when we get that research, whether Devil Strand grows quicker. But Devil Strand clothing is generally worth more, so if we're producing these things for sale, that makes more sense. And then obviously it has some color to it, whereas anything we make with cloth is going to be like white or gray or like an off-white. But we could make, you know, red tunics and tabards and surcoats and things like that, and red could be our faction color or something. Alright, so it looks like Umbra's almost done with that research. I wish somebody would come along and finish this. We had the blocks right there, but I guess they decided to use them on the floors, which I suppose is fine. It's just, it'd be nice to get this done as well. And then I wanted to do a tailoring bench. Actually, I think that's under... Yeah, I think that's actually doable from here as well, but there is a tailoring station, but we need hand tools. That's right. So I was building this because this is where we make the hand tools, which are required for the tailoring bench. Now, there is a lot of other things that we can craft here, like the winter cloaks, but everything else I think is tribal. Yeah, there's like, you can make like wooden helmets and primitive spears, but we want you know, better quality stuff. So I want this done so that we can get those hand tools, so that we can make the tailoring bench, so that we can go ahead and make proper clothes. Because Naziadal still has no pants. He's got like a gambeson on, but he's not wearing any pants. And we want to change that. Oh, you're idle? Well, you should be like researching or something. Yeah, go research. As soon as you're on the research bench, I will undraft Umbra and she can go work on something else. Oh, now you're wandering. There's got to be something for you to do. Do you really not have any jobs? Umbra, let's see, doctoring, bed rest, growing, plant cutting. You could be doing tailoring. Yeah, do some tailoring. Tailoring, smithing, crafting. You're pretty decent at all that, actually, so why don't you jump on in and do some of it? I'm actually going to boost this up. And I'm going to put these at 3, so she's more likely to do them. Hauling hair leather. Well, I mean, that's better than just standing around. Now, Jade's idle. Jade, let's see. You could be doing art. That is a thing you could be doing. Oh, great, more. Every egg I've seen dropped in the last, I don't know how long, has been fertilized. And, oh good, there's one that's not. Hopefully that gets turned into some pemmican. Or actually, does the pemmican need to specifically be meat, or is it just animal products? Yeah, it needs to be specifically meat, so I don't think that will count. No, it will not. If we were making like fine meals or something, they would count in place of meat. But that's because that's like any animal product will work. Right, so I think we'll need to make like a sculpting table or something that so she can do art while she's standing around. We could also make a smokehouse, but honestly I think pemmican is better. I guess we could play with it and see which is superior, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Yeah, so that would be under production. Sculptor's table. Yeah, we may as well. We have the resources. I'll just throw it back here. Although we will take a penalty for it being... let's throw it inside. I'll drop it in here. It's not going to be permanent, but at least there we won't lose efficiency. And that'll give her something to work on. I mean, not just building it, but actually, you know, making sculptures. And of course, we can sell the sculptures or place them. Good, our research is done. What do we want to do next? Defensive systems. What does this give us access to? Crenellated ice walls. We can make an igloo castle. That would be pretty sweet, but not on this map, unfortunately. Crenellated parapets. Honestly, I have the embrasures mod, so I don't think we're going to be using any of this stuff. We can like try it, maybe just place a few down to see how they work. But with the embrasures, I think we're going to have an advantage, so I don't know that we want to do that. We also have ballista or ballistae and caltrops. So those are things we could consider. Food storage. Let's see. Food prep station. What exactly does that do? Is that just a better place to cook? Then we have an ice creation station. I think we have to harvest snow for this, so it's not going to help us right now. An ice box and a fancy ice box. But yeah, again, I'm pretty sure we need to have snow available and harvest it. So it's not going to help us at the moment. Oh, there's transparent roofs. But what else does that require? Smithing. Okay. So that's something to consider, because that would allow us to use some natural lighting in our castle walls. We could do like this center transparent roofs and maybe some skylights along the narrower parts, just to, you know, let the sun in, and then we don't have to worry about lighting it with braziers so much, because these do use up quite a bit of wood, especially if we have like 100 of them in our castle, which we probably will need quite a few. I don't know that even just this one is lighting this whole area effectively. I'd probably need like 4 in here. to light it properly. And then, you know, multiply that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 towers, and you've got 28 braziers right there, plus all of the longer hallway walls, and then all the rooms in here. So yeah, it'll definitely add up. So I think skylights will be a great way to help mitigate that. So the question becomes, do we want to prioritize that now, or do we want to knock something else out first? Because we could do advanced smithing systems, which would give us a smelter. I believe that functions just like the electric smelter, where we can turn slag into steel, which will be helpful eventually, but not immediately necessary. Just because there is enough steel on the map that we can mine and not really concern ourselves with it. We have an improved blacksmith's forge, which should give us access to better quality, you know, smithing things. And then from there, we have the God King's throne. Whoa, that escalated kind of quickly. I don't know that the Jarl is God King, but we can give him a nice throne. And then from there, we go to electricity, but we're not going to mess with electricity. Unless, again, we run into situations where we feel like we should be able to power something that we can't. In which case, we'll use a turbine as sort of a windmill, but otherwise, I'm going to avoid it as best I can. So I don't see anything that's really jumping out in front of me here. There is, of course, enchanting and a bunch of magic stuff, but until we have somebody who is capable of using magic, I feel like this is sort of irrelevant. Not irrelevant, but, you know, I don't know. It doesn't seem like something we would be researching right now, given that nobody has any proficiency in magic. Brewing is another thing I'd like to do. But we're going to need probably more hands on deck for farming. So let's get this out of the way. This is going to be a long project. So we'll do smithing, and then we'll do transparent roofs. That'll allow us to build skylights in our castle so that we can see without having to waste a bunch of, you know, material for braziers and, you know, fires. Then we'll probably get into Devil Strand and brewing. I'd also like to get a fishing pier so that we can start getting more meat through fish rather than having to hunt consistently. And from there, we'll kind of figure it out. We also have pigeon posts. These function as comm stations, so we can communicate with people. But that's not too much of a priority right now. And if you guys see anything else that you think would be useful, feel free to shout it out. We can research beds, but since we already have the technology for the medieval cots, and the medieval cots are roughly equivalent to beds, I don't think it's that big a deal. Oh right, we got a doe. A doe self-tamed. I don't know why. I don't really care. I don't need it. Don't want it, really. But, yeah, we have one. I'll probably just slaughter it eventually. Alright, so Trobo is taking some marble blocks that he just cut, and he's going to finish up this forge, assuming an alpaca doesn't walk through his path and disrupt his work. And Jade is nearly done with her tailoring bench. I think she's going to be our tailor. Actually, no, she's not. She can't craft. Never mind. I don't know why I thought she could. I think that's Bry that can do both. No, he can't craft either. Somebody will be our tailor. Neither of them. Was it you? Not so much. I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody that can make clothes for us. Nazia Dal was doing it before. Or no, actually Trobo was doing it, wasn't he? I think Trobo was making the cloaks. Yeah, he's only got a crafting skill of 4, though. That doesn't seem right. Oh, because I was on the wrong person. Yeah, 12. I was like, I'm pretty sure I gave my blacksmith better than 12, or better than 4 crafting. That just wouldn't make sense. Oh, Umbra leveled up. I think a few people leveled up, actually. She technically is magic, but not in, you know, like a mage sense. She is more about herbalism and not witchcraft, but stuff like that, like potion making and alchemy, I guess is what you'd call it in Skyrim. So anyways, we need to spend points. We have 2 levels available to spend, or 2 skill points or whatever. I don't know what the best thing to be here, or what the best thing to take would be. So we don't have regeneration. We can spend a point to learn it. Regeneration acts natural curative. That is not proper grammar. Not that I've had very good grammar today either. But regeneration acts as a natural curative that continues to work over time and will restore even grievous wounds if given enough time. Only cures physical injuries and will not restore destroyed body parts. So it won't grow what's-his-face a leg, but that could be really useful. Let's learn that. And, oh, that took 2 points. I think it'll be worth it, though. That seems like it could be a pretty powerful ability. And I might focus pretty heavily on that. Oh, with a master scroll, I just cannot talk tonight. She can learn how to regrow limbs eventually. It just requires a master scroll before she can do it. So potentially, rather than having to produce prosthetics and stuff, we could use them like temporarily, like in Belle's case, and then once she has that ability, we can maybe remove it and try to regrow his leg. That would be pretty cool. So let's see you finish this up, and we're going to look at the recipes available and see what we can start making. I'd like to get people decent weapons and armor. I don't know that we're going to have a whole lot of either with just this basic forge, but I'd like to at least, you know, obviously see it and get started on something. So this requires wood to fuel it. Could you maybe do that first? And then let's look at the builds that we can do. So hand tools, we definitely need at least one. So let's get that done now. Steel bow, steel plate armor, scale hauberks. Oh wow, so we have access to a lot of good stuff here. Short swords. Yeah, we can start making like pole arms as well, like these two. Chetta has a boar spear. They're decent, but I think these are a little bit stronger. I'm more interested in like the scale hauberk and stuff. I imagine that would be pretty good. What kind of armor do you have, Mr. Jarl? You have the Warlord's plate. So we got to make sure that nobody has nicer armor than the Jarl. But we definitely want to get our guys equipped pretty well. At least the ones that are going to be seeing frontline combat. The people in the back don't need to have as good of armor. But let's... Oh, that's not the right thing, is it? Let's see what they cost. So if we wanted to outfit our people in scale hauberks, it's just 100 steel. That's actually not that bad. That's not that bad at all. I imagine... How much work does it take, though? It doesn't say. I imagine that would be a pretty lengthy process, though. And then if we did... What kind of helmets would we want to do? 35 steel, so if they're all roughly the same... Yeah, apparently they're all the same. We can just make one of each and decide which one we like the aesthetic of the best. Alright, well, that definitely opens up a lot of doors for us. We can get everybody outfitted with proper equipment. We'll have to decide like what path certain characters are going to take and then outfit them accordingly. But it seems like most of our male characters are pretty proficient in melee. And then, interestingly, most of our female characters are proficient in range combat. Other than Umbra, who's not very good at either of those, but can turn animals on people and poison them, which is pretty useful as well. Maybe even more useful than a bow and an arrow in some cases. Or a spear. But yeah, so we'll have to figure out how we want to do that. But I'm thinking like scale armor and maybe the nasal helms. I don't know. We'll have to, again, see which one looks the coolest. And you guys are, you know, of course, welcome to weigh in on that. But we're also going to want to make sure that our backline characters get some decent armor. So if not scale hauberks and stuff, perhaps the gambesons and things that I was talking about before, like Nazidal's wearing. But I think we're going to want to wear those underneath our heavier armor as well. So we'll need to make several of them. But these padded jackets do a lot of blunt damage mitigation. Whereas I think the plate stuff if it functions like real life, should be mostly sharp, yeah. Although this does mitigate blunt pretty well too. So, I mean, we may not need to layer them like you would in Kingdom Come Deliverance or something, but something to consider. But yeah, we'd like to get them into at least basic stuff like that. Umbra, I think, is fine in just a tunic. Maybe we'll give her just a cloak to wear around at all times, so she looks a little bit more like a witch or a medicine woman. But Jade and Hawk, I think, are going to get some gambesons or something. Anyways, we'll leave it here for today, and I will try to get some of that stuff up and running off camera, and then we'll come back, hopefully with a lot more to do in the next episode. We still haven't really been raided in a long time. Bell came and attacked us. I don't remember if he had any accomplices. I think he did. I think there was like 3 of them, wasn't there? Anyway, we haven't had a raid in a while, and I would kind of not mind another. But for the most part, it's just going to be, you know, managing this place. Things are finally moving. I'll probably get some more construction going, and we'll try to get Bell into a little bit nicer circumstances so that he's more likely to join us, because right now he's in like this terrible little hovel that he probably doesn't like all that much. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.